Not object to sex. What I hate is the man who begs for it, who surrenders himself to some crafty woman, who turns his lust into her strength.
Lust is part of life.
And nothing must interfere with the development of the hero which is inside you. And if lust stands in the way, lust must be overcome.
Daniel had always been a man of passion. Whether it was for his work, his hobbies, or his relationships, he threw himself into everything with an intensity that was both his strength and his downfall. But it was his insatiable, lustful desires that plagued him the most. No matter how hard he tried, he could never resist the allure of immediate gratification. At first, his impulsive desires manifested in small ways. He would find himself constantly distracted at work, unable to focus on his tasks, his mind consumed by fantasies. In his personal life, Daniel's inability to control his lustful desires took an even heavier toll. He jumped from one fleeting relationship to another, always seeking the thrill of a new conquest. He couldn't maintain any meaningful connection because his desire for novelty and instant gratification left no room for genuine, emotional intimacy. His lovers came and went like passing storms, leaving him feeling empty and unfulfilled. As time went on, the psychological effects of Daniel's unchecked desires became increasingly apparent. He felt a growing sense of guilt and self-loathing, aware that his inability to control himself was destroying his life. He sought refuge in alcohol and other vices, attempting to drown out the inner chaos that tormented him. The consequences of his actions extended beyond his own suffering. He hurt people who genuinely cared about him, leaving a trail of broken hearts and damaged relationships in his wake. Friends distanced themselves from him, unable to cope with his erratic behavior and constant drama. His family watched helplessly as the once promising young man spiraled out of control. Lust, in its broadest sense, is the intense and unrestrained desire for sensual pleasure. In the modern world, it manifests in various forms, from the sexual lust that pervades our media to the insatiable desire for material possessions and status. The prevalence of lustful imagery and temptation in our daily lives can make it feel like an inescapable force. Consider the pervasive influence of sexualized advertising. It is almost impossible to escape the barrage of images that objectify the human body, promoting a culture of instant gratification and hedonism. These images fuel our desires, leaving many feeling perpetually unsatisfied and disconnected from their own values and principles. The dichotomy of control. Epictetus, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, emphasized the importance of distinguishing between things within our control and those beyond our control. He wrote, "Some things are within our power, while others are not. Lust often arises from desires for things beyond our control, such as the actions and feelings of others or external circumstances. Consider a person who is struggling with lustful thoughts about someone they find attractive. Instead of fixating on the other person's actions or feelings, the Stoic approach would involve acknowledging the attraction, which is a natural feeling, but then redirecting their focus to their own actions and choices, ensuring they align with their values and principles." 2. The pursuit of virtue. Stoicism places great importance on living a life of virtue, guided by reason and wisdom. Seneca, another influential Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Virtue is nothing else than right reason." By cultivating virtuous qualities like temperance, wisdom, and courage, we can strengthen our ability to resist the temptations of lust. Let's say someone is faced with the temptation of engaging in a casual sexual encounter. The Stoic approach would encourage them to reflect on their virtues. Is this action aligned with their values of honesty and integrity? By prioritizing virtue over momentary pleasure, they can make a more deliberate and principled choice. 3. Acceptance of nature. The Stoics believed in accepting the natural order of the universe and our place within it. Lust, being a part of human nature, is not inherently evil. However, it becomes problematic when it leads us to act against our values and principles. Stoicism encourages us to acknowledge our desires without being enslaved by them. Imagine a person who feels guilty about experiencing sexual desire. Stoicism would suggest that they accept their desires as natural, but seek to channel them in a way that aligns with their values. Instead of suppressing or denying their desires, they can use them as opportunities for self-awareness and growth. Practical strategies for overcoming lust. With these foundational Stoic principles in mind, let's explore practical strategies for overcoming lust in the modern world. 1. Self-awareness and mindfulness. Begin by cultivating self-awareness. Take the time to reflect on your desires and identify the triggers that lead to lustful thoughts and actions. As Epictetus advised, examine your impressions and don't let them sweep you away. Mindfulness, a practice rooted in Stoic philosophy, can help you observe your thoughts and desires without judgment, allowing you to gain greater control over them. Suppose someone frequently experiences lustful thoughts when scrolling through social media. Through mindfulness, they can recognize this pattern and take steps to limit their social media use or unfollow accounts that trigger these thoughts. 2. Focus on virtuous goals. Shift your focus from the pursuit of pleasure to the pursuit of virtue. Define your values and principles and set virtuous goals for yourself. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Challenge yourself to embody Stoic virtues such as temperance, wisdom, and courage in your daily life. 3. The discipline of desire. Epictetus introduced the concept of the discipline of desire, which involves training yourself to desire only that which is in your control. When you find yourself lusting after external possessions or the approval of others, remind yourself that these are not within your control. Instead, focus on cultivating internal qualities and values that are entirely within your grasp. Imagine someone who desires the validation of others through social media likes and comments. Stoicism would advise them to recognize that external validation is beyond their control and to focus instead on valuing their own self-worth and actions. 4. The contemplation of consequences. When faced with a powerful desire, take a moment to contemplate the potential consequences of your actions. Seneca advised, "We should always allow some time to elapse, for time discloses the truth." Consider how yielding to lust might lead to regret, harm to others, or a deviation from your chosen path of virtue. This reflection can serve as a powerful deterrent. Before engaging in a potentially harmful sexual encounter, a person can consider the potential consequences, such as emotional turmoil, damage to relationships, or the violation of their own principles. This reflection can deter them from acting on their desires impulsively. 5. The Stoic Journal. Keep a Stoic journal in which you record your thoughts, desires, and daily reflections. This practice, inspired by the Stoic tradition, allows you to examine your progress and identify areas where you can further strengthen your self-control and virtuous living. In their Stoic journal, someone may document instances where they successfully resisted lustful temptations, as well as moments of weakness. By analyzing their experiences, they can develop strategies to reinforce their self-control. 6. Seek community and guidance. Stoicism is not a solitary pursuit. Seek out like-minded individuals who share your commitment to virtue and self-mastery. Engaging in discussions, attending Stoic gatherings, or finding a mentor can provide invaluable support and guidance on your journey. Joining a local Stoic meetup group or participating in online forums allows individuals to share their struggles and triumphs, learn from others' experiences, and receive advice from those who have successfully integrated Stoic principles into their lives.